Hello. Okay. So, you know how when you write a full essay, not a short answer, but a full essay, you should do TCEASY? Is that familiar? Thesis, context, evidence, analysis, synthesis. Why? If it's not familiar, then we got a problem. It should be familiar. Okay. What you're going to start like doing now that you're coming back 5 days a week, yay, is we're going to start going into those five things. Yeah, five or six things, almost daily. Yeah, all those documents that you've been having to do on Canvas, you do them in class with me normally. Like it's usually the first 10 minutes of each class. So it's about to be a very regular thing to talk about. TCEASY, thesis, context, evidence, analysis, synthesis, why. First thing you always do in any full essay on the AP test, thesis. Two parts to a thesis. Your stem, which is where you restate the question, and then your three proofs. Your three proofs are going to be what each paragraph is about. You should be doing that easy by now. Context. You should also be in a hold up by now. Guys, listen, I'm going to be honest. Some of y'all are not doing context right. You're not. Context is where you give me the background to whatever your subject is. The Mayan ball game. You can't just say the Maya played a ball game to keep their history alive, and that's it. Who are the Maya? What ball game? What is it? What about their history are they trying to keep alive? Context comes from the information you have learned about them. So, one of the reasons that you might be doing context wrong is because you didn't watch the original how to do context video. Or maybe it's because you're not watching the teaching videos that I'm giving you about the subjects. That's where you're going to get your context. It's background information. Like, where are we? Are we in Europe? Or are we in the Americas? Are the Maya an African tribe? No, it's Mesoamerica, the Americas. What time period are we looking at? Are they modern? Are they ancient? No. When were they? So context, some of you are about to get, and I'm sorry, but you're not getting it. So some of you are about to get an extra context assignment that you betcha will be worth a grade. I'm just warning you now. So some of you need to fix your context or you're going to get an extra assignment. So now let's look at evidence. Evidence is what the entire thing is. Like the whole essay is evidence proving your thesis. You know how in your thesis you have three proofs, right? The Maya played a ball game to, one, keep their history alive. Two, teach other people their culture. Three, remind themselves about the gods. Those are your three things, which means each one of those things is going to be a paragraph. And then evidence is where you prove each one of those three things. So, look at evidence. When you look at TCEASY, thesis, context, evidence, analysis, synthesis, why? Evidence, analysis, and synthesis all happen simultaneously at the same time in the paragraphs, the body paragraphs. Like you don't do evidence first, then analysis, then synthesis. You do them all together at the same time. I know it's complicated. If it wasn't, then everybody would do AP. But they don't. It's complicated. That's why for the rest of the semester, we're looking at evidence. Next semester, we're looking at the two beasts, analysis and synthesis. I feel like there's a lot of S's today, and I'm not saying them very well. Analysis and synthesis will be next semester, okay? Thesis and context are the easy parts. Now evidence. Okay, you are going to get this. Since you are coming back full time, you're going to get this. Your documents, the way I usually do it in class, your documents are always done like the first 10 minutes of each class. There's usually 3 a week, okay? You had been doing them on Canvas. Now we're going to do it in class, which I like better. This right here, I'll make it multiple pages so you can see it. This right here is what you're going to have, so keep up with it whenever I give it to you. This right here, you'll do one every day. Well, that's a lie. Not every day, but we'll do humanism first. Then we'll do, what? The Ninja Turtles? Yeah. Then we'll do one about Martin Luther. Then we'll do one about Henry VIII. Then you have one about the scientific revolution, and then you have one about Galileo. On Canvas Online, I do these 3. Nomads, Istanbul, and Vlad Dracul. That rhymes. Istanbul and Vlad Dracul. Ah, cool. It rhymes. Fun. Let me go big again. Come on. Oh, 1 page. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, what's happening? 100%. There we go. So let's look at what evidence is. Evidence. It is the body of your essay. 3 paragraphs proving your thesis. And again, each proof in your thesis, you should have 3. You have the stem and 3 proofs. Each proof is going to be its own paragraph that was already stated in the thesis. The evidence is proving your proof in the thesis. Evidence is specific examples, usually 2 or 3, that must be used to explain the proof. Some of you guys are giving me things like, I can't think of a specific example right now, but generalizations, where you're saying, for context, a lot was going on during this time period. Yeah, you're not going to get your context point for that. What was going on during what time period? Things have to be specific, or you are not going to get your points. It's that way for evidence too. In a DBQ, you will use all 6 documents that you were given. Sometimes you're given 7 or 8 documents, but you better use 6 as evidence. If you use less than 6, chances are you're not going to get a 3 on the AP test. True story, man. Usually they'll give you 7 or 8 documents, like I gave you with the Aztec, okay? You have to use 6. And then you're going to have to do 1 piece of outside information for your evidence. I know right now, just from this video, you're confused. Once I start showing you how in just a second, it'll become more clear, okay? But your outside information cannot be in the documents. You're like, what? So, for right now, we don't need to worry about this, because what I'm having you do here is just learn how to do evidence. These 2 things right here we'll look at more next semester, okay, using 6 out of the 7 documents and using an outside source. We'll look at that more next semester when you are writing full-blown DBQs. Yeah, it's coming. I already have them printed. They're right behind me, right here. Cha-ching! Actually, that's not true. They're down here, 2nd semester. Anyway, that being said, what you need to focus on this unit, for the Renaissance unit, and for this packet right here, this evidence packet, is this. Evidence is specific examples, usually 2 or 3, that must be used to explain your proof. I know, you're like, I don't understand. Just be calm. And let me get out of this. And let's go to this. This right here is what you just did. This is the context packet. You're like, no, we didn't do that. Yes, you did. But you did it all on Canvas, so it's not all together. It doesn't look like this. Okay. Here's Vale, remember him? Fashion that celebrates African spirit. This right here is Mansa Musa. Come on, sing that song. I know you are. I know you are. Ibn Battuta, remember his documents comparing Mombasa and Mali. You did not do, well, no, you did do A Knight's Tale. Well, some of you did. It depends. The Crusades, some of you did it, some of you didn't. I don't think anyone did the Jewish diaspora this time. I cut it, which could be a problem. I'm going to have to bring it back because it's a big thing. The Normans, some of you did it, some of you didn't. The Magna Carta, some of you did it, some of you didn't. And then the Black Death. And then the Mayan ball game. And then the Inca Quechua. You're like, where's the Aztec? Just wait. Just wait. Okay, so let's make this big. Okay. And do you remember this right here? The Vale video. The one, I always Germanize it. I don't know why I Germanize it. He's not German. It may be Wale. Sorry. But anyway, whatever. Fashion that celebrates the African spirit and strength. You had this question to write a thesis about. In what ways, more than one, in what ways are his fashion ideas a powerful tool for dismantling biases and bolstering self-images of underrepresented populations? How are his fashion ideas a powerful tool for dismantling biases of underrepresented populations? So you write your thesis, okay? You write your thesis. You say, here, let me do this. It'll be faster. Okay, you say, this guy's fashion ideas are a powerful tool for dismantling biases and bolstering the self-images of underrepresented populations. That is your STEM. You just restate the question. This guy's fashion ideas are a powerful tool for dismantling biases and bolstering the self-images of underrepresented populations by. Now we need our 3 proofs. One of them could be, and I don't know what you said, there's no right answer here. One of them could be by mixing European and African art together. Comma. That is one proof. Yes, you need 3, guys. I told you when you first started 2 was okay because you were just starting. See, here's the problem. For the AP test, you need 3. 3 body paragraphs, 3 proofs. This right here is going to be the first body paragraph. Are you with me? First body paragraph. Let me go down here. Paste. Okay. Got it? Okay. A second thing, let's see. His fashion ideas are a powerful tool for dismantling biases and bolstering the self-images of underrepresented populations by mixing European and African art together, by, what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting African self-awareness, that'll work, by promoting African self-awareness and oh, sheesh, man. Okay, this proof right here is going to be your second body paragraph. I don't want to say self-awareness. That's not true. Self promoting self pride? Is that a better? I mean, awareness is stupid. Like, you're African American, you know you're African American. So, awareness, you're aware of it. So, self pride. By promoting African self pride, and that's better, pride. That works better. And reminding African Americans of their, oops, history. Boom, we have a thesis. Okay, now look. Some of y'all in your theses, you're not being specific enough. Some of you are saying this guy's fashion ideas are a powerful tool for dismantling biases and bolstering the self images of underrepresented populations by making clothes. I don't know, doing a TED talk and being articulate. That's not specific. Making what clothes? Like, what? You need to be specific. Okay? The AP, the people that are reading the AP test have to know that you know what you're talking about. So you have your 3 proofs, okay? Mixing European art and African art together, promoting African pride. I shouldn't say self pride, that sounds stupid. Just say African. I don't know, what do y'all think? African or African American? I'm not sure. It's African. It's African. And then reminding African Americans of their history before coming to the Americas. Now, I know as you're sitting there right now, you're like, oh my gosh, miss, I can never write this way. Yes, you can. Everybody learns somewhere, and you're learning. It's okay. You're fine. Okay, so here's your thesis. Yeah. Afterward, you're going to put your context. Your context is like, Vale is a Nigerian American who has a fashion line, and you're going to say he has a fashion line where he is stirring up African spirit, blah, blah, blah. You give me his background. Yes, that's context. Right after context, you start your first paragraph. Your first paragraph, I'm just going to do this. Context goes right here. Your first paragraph is going to be this first proof explained. Give me evidence to prove that he's mixing African and European art together. Now, I understand, and I'm not dissing you, but I understand that that may not be something that you caught on to. Just watching the video, I know that because I had so much art history in college. It's my thing. He never specifically talked about that, I don't think. So I know this to be true. I wouldn't expect you to have noticed. But your first paragraph is this first proof. And you're giving me evidence to prove that he did that. You're like, I don't remember him doing that. That's okay. One proof is that he used Michelangelo's, oh crap, I just forgot what she's called. Dang, I can't think of what she's called. Okay, we're not going to Google it because we don't Google. Since I can't remember it right now, he used a Mary slash Jesus statue by Michelangelo on a yellow piece of silk. And he changed the color of Mary and Jesus's skin. Okay, now listen. I don't expect you to have noticed that. Again, that's something that you would have to have already known. I know that. But it's what popped into my head. And I'm writing this, so there we go. So the first paragraph is about him mixing European and African art together. First piece of evidence is explaining how he used a Mary and Jesus statue by Michelangelo on a yellow piece of silk, and he changed the color of Mary and Jesus' skin to reflect that of an African. You're like, he did? Yes. Again, I know you didn't notice. I'm in a hangout right now too. Where is, oh my gosh. Here we go. I have so many tabs open, it's crazy. I cannot remember what that's called, but I want you to see it. There she is. What the heck is she called? Pieta! That's it. This right here. This statue, and again, I know you don't know, but this statue was on, oh my goodness, the David is showing in all his glory. Whatever. Okay, be mature. But right here, the Pieta is on one of his pieces of fabric, this right here, and he has changed their skin to be that of African. You're like, so? He's mixing European and African art together. Now, you're going to explain this, and that is a piece of evidence, okay, backing up this. Now, in theory, when you actually write the whole DBQ, you need to give me another example of him doing this. At least 2. 3 is better always, but 2. Because if I was wrong about this and I only did 2 examples, I don't get my points. But if I did 3 examples and I was wrong about this, but I was right about the other 2 things, I still get my point. Yes. Are you with me? 3 is better. It kind of covers your booty if you mess up on something. Okay. Okay. So that's one piece of evidence. You're going to do the same thing for these. How does that, or his clothes, how does it promote African pride? You have to come up with ways, things that he said specifically in there. And that's hard with us not rewatching the video, and we're not going to, okay? But then for your third proof in your thesis, you need to give me evidence about how his clothes remind African Americans of their history before coming to the Americas. For most Africans in the 15 and 1600s, 1700s too, it was not their choice to come. Not at all. I shouldn't have said 15. It doesn't really start, but still. So you want to talk about their history there. If I remember correctly, I believe he has the famous picture of Mansa Musa on one of his pieces of silk. This one. Again, I'd have to watch the video again, and I'm not going to take the time to do that. This right here, I'm positive. I know I've seen this on one of his pieces of silk. Well, that's a big piece of African history, and that's an important one. Mansa Musa, most rich guy. That was good English. Richest guy ever. Huh. That's a big deal. So, what you're gonna start doing, and I know it's still confusing to you right now. I know. But what you're gonna start doing, oh, I went to the wrong one, is as we do this in class, okay, you're gonna read a document, What Humanist Changes Occurred During the Renaissance. You read this document. Now, we're doing this in class, so don't be looking like for it. Don't be like, I don't know where it is. We're doing it in class, okay? But you're going to read this document about humanism and how it changes the Renaissance. Then you're going to write a thesis. Humanism, I shouldn't have said that. During the Renaissance, there we go. During the Renaissance, there were many humanist changes such as blah, blah, blah. I already know the answers. I'm not putting them here because you're doing it. Probably next week. Next week? Yeah. So anyway, you're going to give me a thesis. Boom. Yeah. Then you're going to give me context. Context means what the heck is humanism? What the heck is the Renaissance? What was happening before that? The best way to do context is to say, previous to the Renaissance, everything was focused on the church. Everything was focused on God. Everything was focused on the Bible. Now, suddenly, humanism. Focusing on the human. What can the human do? Then, from the document, you will give 3 pieces of evidence. Again, I know right now you're like, what? But once we actually go through it, it'll make more sense. So let's go back to these, because in theory, you already did these. Mansa Musa. What actions did Mansa Musa take to make him a beloved king? What actions did Mansa Musa take to make him a beloved king? Mansa Musa became a beloved king because that is your stem for your thesis sentence. That's your stem. Restate the question. Mansa Musa became a beloved king because, proof 1, when he went on his Hajj, he took many poor people with him. Don't give me too much information. Don't tell me why he took the people with him. That's what you're going to do in evidence. You just tell me when he went on his Hajj, he took many poor people with him. Second of all, Mansa Musa became a beloved king when he went because, I'm going to add something first. He was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval period, when he went on his Hajj, he took many poor people with him, and while in Egypt, he gave away a lot of gold to the, we'll just say to the poor. Okay, those are your 3 proofs. That's your thesis right there. Mansa Musa became a beloved king because, stem. Then you have your 3 proofs. Because he was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval period, proof 1. Proof 2, when he went on his Hajj, he took many poor people with him. And then proof 3, while in Egypt, he gave a lot of gold away to the poor. Then you have context, where here you talk about how important Mali is. Even though it's in the middle of the Sahara Desert, the Europeans and the Muslims are willing to traverse the Sahara Desert to get there because it's so rich. Rich in what? Gold and salt mostly. So you give me some context about Mali. You could talk about the medieval period, talk about North Africa. You can talk about the fact that he's Muslim. Context could be Mansa Musa although he lived in Africa, he was a Muslim king because the Muslims had moved into North Africa and the religion spread along trade routes. That could be your context. Context is just where you give me background information. Who is this guy? Where is he? Okay. Then we get into our evidence. Paragraph 1, where is it? Is going to be this right here. He was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval period. Evidence for that is what? Well, he's crazy rich. Why is he rich? He's got to be rich from something. The second thing, oh, I spelled it, sorry. I'm trying to do this fast, so. The second thing could be, because again, you really do want 3 pieces of evidence for each proof. You want 3. If 2's all you got, 2's all you got, but you better be right. So he was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval period. That can be the first sentence to your paragraph, by the way. Don't be afraid to restate. Mansa Musa became a beloved king because he was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval period. First paragraph. Mansa Musa was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in the medieval because it's okay to do this here, right here, and to have it down here again. That will almost remind the reader, oh yeah, they're talking about the thesis. Got it. Okay. When I grade your essays, I should be able to go, okay, paragraph 1 is going to be about this. Paragraph 2 is going to be about the Hajj, and paragraph 3 is going to be about him in Egypt giving away gold. And if your paragraphs aren't about that, your paper is not proving your thesis. That's a problem for the AP test. This right here, the thesis tells you what your whole paper is going to be about. Once you have your thesis written, now you just go about proving each part of your thesis. And that is what evidence is, proving it. How do we know that he was in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom in medieval Europe? Well, he's crazy rich due to gold and salt trade with Europeans and Muslims. I'm spelling really well, you guys. Are you following? You're going to explain that a little bit. You're going to put in here the Europeans willing to cross the Sahara. That's the Sahara Desert. And somehow spelling check knew it. I'm impressed. So you're going to write about the fact that they're willing to cross the Sahara Desert just to trade with Mali. Okay. You're not going to go into a desert, a mega desert, unless that kingdom is important enough that there's something there that you want. Well, gold and salt was a big deal. Okay, so you're going to write about that. You could also, with this right here, he's in charge of the strongest African trade kingdom. You could talk about how he gets his kingship from Sundiata Keita. Do you remember him? If you haven't been watching those videos that I've been giving you, then you're missing a lot of historical information that could very easily be on the AP test. Just saying. So you could talk about that, but really what you want to do is give me 3 pieces of evidence to back up this right here. Then your second paragraph is going to be about this right here. Since Mansa Musa was a Muslim, when he went on his Hajj, he took many poor people with him. That is the first sentence to the second paragraph, and it backs this right here. You're going to prove that. Well, how do you prove it? You're like, I just know he did. Okay, why? Why did he take the poor people with him? The poor Muslims of Mali, oh my gosh, couldn't afford the trip to Mecca, which was the purpose of the Hajj and one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Without going on a Hajj, a Muslim cannot fulfill the 5 pillars. So, Mansa Musa not decided, felt obligated to allow them to follow him, and he would pay for the travel/food. That right there is a proof. No, I'm sorry. Scratch that. Erase. That right there is evidence proving this proof. I'm giving you evidence to prove this proof that was in your thesis. The evidence backs up your thesis. So thesis has to come first. If you don't have your thesis first, it's going to be a lot harder to write your essays. When kids sit there with their pens and they're like, I don't know what to write, miss. Where do I start? Thesis. If you'll start with your thesis, you think for a second and you get your thesis, the rest of your paper is easy. Because I don't even remember what the third point I did for this was. I don't have to remember. The third paragraph, my third point, was about Egypt. So I come back up here and I'm like, okay, I just wrote about the poor people in Mali following him. So now I come back up here and my third paragraph is going to be about the poor people in Egypt. One of the 5 pillars of Islam. Do you see how you have to have background information to be able to answer these? What are the 5 pillars? If you're looking at this right now going, what is she talking about? You better start paying attention because you're missing stuff when you aren't watching these videos. You have to have the information. Guys, the AP test is no joke. The AP test is you saying, I'm as smart as those 20-year-olds. I know all this information. Do you? Do you? You should. One of the 5 pillars of Islam, is that of charity, giving called alms, giving money or whatever, giving charity, giving alms to the poor. And while in Egypt, Mansa Musa saw how much poor peasants were there than in Mali, which makes sense because Mali is a rich trade center. So he gave away a lot of gold to the poor of Egypt, which made him much beloved by the people until it's by, isn't it? I guess I don't have to fix this. Hopefully you're with me. Until it was discovered that he put so much gold into the Egyptian economy that inflation actually occurred. Here's where you show that you know what the crap inflation is. That caused prices to go up and the value of money to go down in Egypt. However, the people of the time didn't really realize that Mansa Musa had caused that to occur. Evidence. This right here, while in Egypt, Mansa Musa saw how poor people were, so he gave them money. Okay, why did he give them money? What happened as a result? Well, he was both beloved and he caused inflation. Evidence is the meat of your essay. Evidence is where you prove your proofs from the thesis. That's why it's called prove. You're proving the proofs. What are the proofs? The three things that back up your thesis. Thesis, stem, plus three proofs. Then evidence is taking each one of those proofs and proving it with fact. So how do you do that? Guys, you have to know the history. Once you have an actual DBQ, an actual document-based question with 7 to 8 documents with it, kind of like the Aztec one, okay? Kind of like the Aztec one. Ooh, I want to pull that up. You're getting the information straight from those documents. Let me pull that up though. Where is it? We're almost done, I promise. No, I need Unit 4. Renaissance. Documents. Here are your documents. What am I doing? View. Oh, I pulled up the wrong thing. Sheesh, man. Sorry, guys. I need Unit 3. Documents. Where is the Aztec thing? Oh, it's under virtual. Here we go. Okay. If you were doing evidence with this right here, which y'all already did, okay, and it may be out of order, that's okay. Your thesis for how should the Aztec be remembered? The Aztec should be remembered by STEM. And then you need three things. By their religion, that's too vague. By, needs to be more specific. By how their religion affected their culture. Their Aztec should be remembered by how their religion affected their culture. Their farming tech, I don't know what I'm spelling, techniques, which allowed for a bustling economy, and their technological advancements in their cities. That's your thesis. First paragraph is going to be about religion. Okay. Second paragraph is going to be about farming. Third paragraph is going to be about city technology. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So whenever you look at multiple documents like this, you group them. Group the documents. So you look at them and you say, okay, let's see. I'm going to make this small, you guys, so I can see more at once. Okay, so you look at them and you say, okay, this right here is talking about the discovery of, well, not the discovery of, the discovery of where to place Tenochtitlan, their capital city, having the cactus and the bird on it, and then you have the bird eating the snake. Okay, so here, where is it? For religion, you're going to talk about, or that could be city. Now it's religion. Or it could be city. Where do you want to put it? I am going to put it in city. Even though it is religion, it tells us where the city is going to be done. So document 1 is going to be in the city. Okay. Could you use document 2 to tell you what they, or I'm sorry, document 1 to tell you what they believe about their religion? Heck yeah. I'm going to put it in city. It's absolutely fine with religion though, okay? This right here, you can also, the city has many squares. Marketplaces. This tells you what they sold. That, document 2, is also dealing with the city. So I'm going to put it with city. Document 3 is about, when I saw this ceremony, an enemy warrior, seasoned warrior, human sacrifice. That is religion. Document 3 is about religion. Document 4, home life for the Aztec. I didn't put this as one of my thesis, whatever. Do you have to use every document? No. But could some of this be religious, maybe? Maybe. So we'll wait on document 4. Oh, right here, document 5. Where are they placed? Cities. So document 5, city technology. Document 5. Oh, it could also be farming, because they're right on a lake. It could also be sacrifice. We'll wait on that one. It could be sacrifice because the Aztec ran around like conquering other people groups to sacrifice to the gods. Document 6 is obviously city, technology. Document 7 is the human sacrifice. And then document 8 is farming. Okay, I grouped them. Yes? I have too many here for city. So this one right here, document 5. I'm going to move document 5 to farming. You're like, huh? Like, how does that show you farming? Where are they located? Is there farmland there? You're like, not today. There was. If you look at this picture, there's a river right here. Does it talk about the river here? The lake? Prickly pear, cactus, heart. Okay, it doesn't talk about the lake. That's okay. Because when you write the actual DBQ, you want outside information. City today doesn't have a lake. That's Mexico City. Tenochtitlan is Mexico City today. There's no lake there. There was. It dried up. Why? Maybe over farming. I don't know. So what you do is you group all of your different documents and you say, okay, my thesis is this right here. The Aztec were remembered by how their religion affected their culture. All right, so I'm going to talk about religion. What documents are going to back up religion? Then you refer back in your actual paragraph, you refer back to document 3. How does document 3 tell me about their religion? When I saw a ceremony last year as a new member of the priestly school, I was amazed at the physical beauty of the enemy warrior who was killed at the end of the festival. The seasonal warrior whom we change from a human into the god whoever can have no blemish on his body, but he's treated like our most royal family member during that time period leading up to the sacrifice. During the time, he's given all the finest luxuries, including food, clothes, and women. Many of us have become attached to this living God, and a terrible sadness comes over some of the women when at the end of the year he's taken and dismembered in public view. You're like, how is that religion? Why are we sacrificing him? You're mixing what you already know with what the document says. So then you're going to use document 3 to back up the fact that religion affects their culture. Document 3 discusses how human sacrifice is done, but first, the people are treated respectfully and they are turned into a living God. A living God, meaning they are monotheistic or polytheistic. Evidence just backs up, proves your thesis. Are you with me? Guys, if you have questions about this, you have got to come into online tutorials. That's what they're there for. 7th period, 3:15 to 4:15, and go, okay, I'm confused or whatever. And it's a lot easier when I can talk to you back and forth. All right. You're also going to start. Oh, sheesh, man. I got rid of it. Here. You're also going to start doing this. AP units, Renaissance, documents, evidence. You're also going to start doing this, okay? Where, like I said, you're going to look at a document, the humanism one. I'll just open it right now. So many tabs, you guys. Okay, I'll just open it right now. This right here is the humanism document, all right? If we make it big. This right here tells you what humanism was, okay? Right here. This right here shows you one of the most famous early humanist, there we go, statues. It's by Donatello. You're like, it's a naked guy. Yeah, it's a naked David. David, who's David? The Bible David. The fact that he's naked and he's a biblical person is humanist right there. You're like, what? You're going to find out right here. Okay. But down here you have another picture. John the Baptist. He's another biblical character. But he's reading. Is educating yourself humanism? Yes, it is. Again, I know you don't know that yet. You will from reading this. Okay, right here. This right here is also Michelangelo's creation of Adam. That is God over here and Adam over here. Biblical characters, biblical people, but they are painted in a humanist way. Again, you're like, I don't know what humanism is. You have to do the assignment first. Listen to me teach about humanism. Then you read this about humanism. When you've done that, you're going to answer the question, what humanist changes occurred during the Renaissance? And you're going to give me your thesis. Thesis, 3 proofs. Guys, I'm going to start counting off now if you don't give me 3. Okay? Then context. What is humanism? What is the Renaissance? What has changed? You could talk about the medieval period being so religious. Then evidence. What 3 pieces of evidence from this are you going to use to prove your thesis? Guys, you have 3 proofs. Give me 3 pieces of evidence to prove those proofs from this right here. Should it be specific from this right here? Yes. Could it be from this? Yeah. Could it be from this painting or picture? Yes. Could it be from this picture? Yes. Could it be from this picture? Yes. But they have to be specific. As we keep going in the year, you're going to start noticing like you losing points if you're too vague. You've got to be specific. Again, if after you've watched the Renaissance video, if after you've done this, after you've written your thesis, you're stuck. That's what 7th period is for. Online tutorials. Just click the little online hangout thing and I'll be here. And if I'm not, it's just because I ran to the office or something and I'll be right back. And then we can work together. But it's real hard to teach this without you here to like see your eyeballs and see if you're with me and to like discuss back and forth. So if you have questions, 3:15 to 4:15. Yes. And those of you who are seeing this video who are not MOA students, tutorials before school, after school lunch. Don't just get it wrong or you have no chance on the AP test. Before school, after school lunch, or of course in class while we're doing it. Alrighty? Attached are some practice for you to do. Is it a grade that you do them? Yeah. Yep. Bye.